Hello, and in this video, we're going to be looking at the power of definition and zooming into our channels and looking at how this information can really help us to step into our gifts, to use it in our business, in our content, in our offers, and to understand how to really develop value around the unique things that we bring that are consistent within us. So for a projector in particular, you really want to be recognized for your definition. Like that's the first thing that you want to be recognized for. That's one of the ways that you can see if the other person is recognizing you. Now, it's not as simple as that, as I don't believe anything in human design is. There's always nuance, there's always layers of complexity, there's always more, right? And I will do a separate video when I feel like it on how we can actually be recognized for energies or skills or wisdom that we've mastered in our openness, and how we can actually really use that to share information or guidance on to other people about things that we've observed and seen and embodied that only we can because of the way that we sample a range of that energy. And so that is really about the gift that we bring, is when we master the openness and are able to guide and give people insight into something they might not be aware of around those open centers. But anyway, so we're going to look at channel 2551, which is the channel of initiation. This channel is in Laurel's chart, and it's also in quite a few of my other clients' charts that I've looked at in the past and people I've worked with. And it's beautiful that it's interesting that these people are coming to me because, number one, my material weight is 51. I have the racks of penetration. I'm here to initiate people. I'm here to shock people into change. I'm here to awaken people into deeper levels of consciousness or self-empowerment, ultimately. Anyway, I was going to go into something, but let's keep really focused. So let me just see if I can share the screen. Hang on. Bear with me. Well, that's not what I want to do. Okay, now let me see if I can get the short image. Yeah. All right, so this isn't, I don't know what it's showing. Let me close these things down. Okay, so really what I want you to look at is this area here where we see the gate 25, which is the love of spirit from the identity center, channeled or defined into the will center, into that gate of initiation, that gate of shock. This makes the whole channel of initiation. So when we see that channel, what we're seeing is, number one, the potential for leadership. Your mechanics is going to drive initiation. It's going to drive initiatives. It's going to bring change. It has the energy. The will energy here is not the force to do, but it's the force to awaken. It's the force to get people to be shocked or initiated into a new way of seeing, thinking, being, and deeply moving people into their hearts. So what we see here is a lot of healers naturally have that gate 25. Lots of healers, natural healers, and people who go into the realm of healing have the channel 2551 because it's deeply shamanic in nature. Most healers are coming into that field after their own deep levels of awakening, after their own initiations, after their own journey of being shocked into deeper levels of love and deeper levels of power. So, in the highest expression, that 51, and I know it deeply well, it's very shocking. And we have the ability to withhold shock and withstand shock. We also have the ability to shock others. And I think it's really important that you look at both sides of the energy of this one, because this is shocking energy. This energy is blunt, and it is about awakening. Now, it doesn't have to be sort of, the taboo side of it is provocative. So if you're moving away from that energy of provocation and you're dimming what you say or dimming that energy, because it has been quite painful in the past when you're just being who you're being, and people are like faced to confront themselves, and you kind of feel like you just don't want to deal with the aftermath. Like, well, it's part of what you're actually here to do. It's part of your role. There are ways of being a leader. There are ways of being diplomatic there, but ultimately that energy is about dealing with the nature of fear, facing your fear. It's always inward. You're somebody who's going to really master the psychological realms, the energy realms. So when we say, what are my gifts? Well, we know that you're able to move people into deeper levels of love, deeper levels of power, and transmutation through empowering them. And it's part of the individual centering circuit. So this individual energy is about bringing something new into the world. It's about mutation. It's about evolution. So you're going to walk that path, and you're going to find that you're going to find your ways of, maybe you'll design a healing modality. Maybe you will create a new way of helping people deal with grief. Maybe you'll find a way of helping people deal with the shock of abuse. Whatever your story is, whatever it is that you have overcome, it's quite likely that that is going to be the avenue in which you get to bring your mutation and bring your wisdom to transform. And another way of looking at it is to see yourself as somebody who is like a bridge. You're bringing people through your own consciousness and evolution and initiations, you see something different. It's very mystical. So you see people are here, and you have now crossed that bridge to there, and your journey, your hero's journey, your warrior's journey is about coming back to be that messenger. And that depends on if you're a six line. If you're a six line, you're going to be the role model. It's going to be more through sharing. And again, all of this depends on your chart. But maybe you're about telling stories. Maybe you're about modeling how to overcome initiation, maybe whatever it happens to be. If you're a fifth line, maybe you've got a big message to bring and practical ways of dealing with spiritual awakening or dealing with whatever it happens to be. So that is, I hope, some useful insight into how we can focus on our channels. We're going to look at circuitry. We're going to look at what is the evolutionary energy here that I'm bringing personally on an individual level, and then how does that transform or translate to the community. So for a projector or anyone, whether you're a generator, manifestor, whoever, the circuitry is about 3 levels. For me, for you, for us, ultimately. So my experience, how that translates on an interpersonal, relational experience, and then how does that work on a social, global experience on the world. So micro, macro, macro. Then we're looking at definition. So this is consistent within you. So how does this relate to your definition? How does this relate to how you make decisions? How does this relate to how you're recognized for the work that you do and how you express those gifts. And then it's also looking at how these things have been expressed and what your personal life journey is. What's your training? What's your education? And I mean education on broad terms and loose terms, as in what is your soul curriculum? What have you learned? What are the wisdoms the lessons that you want to encode and bring to the masses or bring into your work? And what is the actual formal education, the skills, the talents, the tools that you have to be able to do that? So 3 things you can do is look at your definition, look at the gates. What are the themes and how do they relate to your story, to your life experience and your education? And therefore, how does it then relate to your why, to the work that you want to do, to the work that you do? And yeah, I think that's enough really for today's exploration and inquiry. If you have any questions, put them in a comment. Let's discuss. And if you want to join the HD Business Blueprint, you can message me to see if this is something that is a fit for you at this time. You can, once we have that discussion, once we understand that, I will send you the payment link. It's 12 weeks. We start on March 11th, and it is 1,888 in English pounds. And if there are any more questions, you can just message me about that. And if you want a deeper dive into your personal chart, we can do a reading or we can do a business reading.